Hi everyone. In this episode, we will learn the data structures and algorithm used in an assembler. Working of the assembler is shown by the algorithm. So every algorithm or program uses data structures. For example, if we consider a sorting program, it requires to sort some numbers. So this data has to be stored at some place. So every algorithm requires a data structure. So in this case, the assembler algorithm it has two passes, pass 1 and pass 2, and it requires these data structures, OpTab, SymTab, and location counter. OpTab. OpTab is a data structure. It is a hash table, which is a static table, which means the entries are not added or deleted from this table. And this table has two columns. The first column contains the opcode and the second column contains the corresponding values of the opcode. Each opcode will have a standard value. It is previously defined. For example, LDA is an opcode. Its value is 00. Similar to that, different opcodes will be having predefined values in this table. Now we can see in pass 1 how this optab is used. In pass 1, optab is used only to validate the opcode. So in the program, the opcodes are there, just validating those opcodes with the optab. In pass 2, the actual translation is done. Translation of the opcodes into its corresponding machine language representation. SymTab. SymTab is used to store the label and its addresses. So each label or symbol will be having addresses. So those addresses will be stored in the SymTab with its label name. It is a hash table. During pass 1, labels are entered into the symbol table along with their assigned addresses. So each line in the program, each instruction is given addresses. So the labels will be having addresses. Those addresses will be entered into the SymTab with the label name. Both pass 1 and pass 2 require reading the source program. The output of pass 1 is an intermediate file that contains each source statement together with its assigned addresses. This file is one of the inputs to pass 2. Location counter is a counter variable. It is used to assign addresses to instructions. Initially, the location counter value is beginning address, that is, with the start statement. After each statement is processed, the length of the instruction, in this SIC, the length of the instruction is 3. So each instruction length is added to the location counter to make it point to the next instruction. Whenever a label is encountered, the current value of the location counter is the address of that variable. Now we can learn the pass 1 of the assembler algorithm. See this question. Generate the complete object program for the following assembly program. SIC assembly program. Show SymTab and write the object program in the specified format. So what is the question is, we have given an assembly language program which is written in SIC. It has to be converted into machine language. So this is the SIC program which has to be converted into machine language, which means the assembler, the working of the assembler. Assembler's input is the input written in assembly language. It has to be converted into machine language. So we have learned that assembler cannot convert the source program in one scan to machine language. So the input is the source program and output is the object code. So, but the assembler cannot convert directly in one step. It requires two passes. So why it requires two passes? We can see the example. This program itself we consider. See the first line, sum start 0. That need not be converted into object code because it is an assembler directive, start. So there is no object code for assembler directives. See the next line, first LDX 0. So how the assembler converts is, conversion here means write the code for the opcode, the value for the opcode, then write the value for the operand. That is meant by conversion here. So here the opcode value is, the opcode is LDX, and the corresponding value for opcode LDX we can get from the optab. Optab is a standard table. It's a built-in table. Each opcode in SIC will be having corresponding values. So in this question, whatever opcodes used in this program is given. The value of that is given. All the opcodes in SIC will be having a fixed value like this. So this LDX value we can get from this table 04. So I will write 04 here. Then 0 is a variable. Variable means it's a label. So this operand value, I don't know. The assembler don't know at this point of time. The 0, the value of 0, the address assigned to 0, the assembler knows at this point only. That is, later in the program only, it is defined. This is because in assembly language program in SIC, the variable declarations are given at the end. So in this stage, the assembler cannot convert the value 0 to the machine code. So first it has to reach here. Then only it knows the value 0 and then it can write. So the assembler requires 2 scans. First scan or first pass, and after that one second pass. The first pass, it will identify the symbols and its values, and in the second pass actual conversion is done. So now we can see the first pass, pass 1 of the assembler. So assembler in pass 1, what all things it does? So one thing is it has to assign addresses to all the instructions, all the lines in the SIC program. For that it uses a variable called location counter. So that counter is, it's like a counter, it is initialized to the starting address. So in this case, the starting address is 0. So the location counter value is initialized to 0. And each instruction, the location counter value is getting incremented. So first, I am giving the location counter value as 0 over here. So then each address is of length 3 byte. So we can increment by 3. So here this values assigned to each lines, that is known as the intermediate file. So we can see the intermediate file here. So this is the source code is written over here, and each line is assigned addresses. For example, this sum starts 0. This line is given the starting address. So starting address is 0. So that 0 is given here. Then this is an assembler directive, not an instruction. So it does not have any length. So object code also not written for this. So next line it will be 0 only. 0, 0, 0. Then again, then this is an instruction of length 3. So 3 is added. So every line 3 is added. So addresses are written in hexadecimal notation. So while adding 3, we have to add with the hexadecimal numbers 3. Then each instruction is of length 3. Then here this assembler directives, reserve word and reserve byte, and word and byte, it will differ. So reserve word, if we consider this reserve word means reserving one word of memory. One word means 3 byte. So reserve word 1 means 3 byte we have to add here. So 15 plus 3, 18. So memory addresses are byte addresses. So we have to add the bytes here. Then here we see reserve word 2000. 2000 words we have to reserve, which means how many bytes? 2000 into 3 bytes. That is 6000 bytes it has to reserve. So 6000 we have to add over here with this 18. This current location counter value 6000 we have to add to get the address of the next instruction. So 6000 while adding, this is a hexadecimal number. So the 6000 we have to be convert into hexadecimal and then add. Then we will get this 1788. So like this we will assign addresses to all the lines in the program. So that is one thing it is done in pass 1. So pass 1 first it has to assign addresses to all the lines in the program. Then the second thing is it will see two fields, that is label field and opcode field. Only two fields it will check. Label field, this is the label field, this is the opcode field, and third one is the operand field. Operand field is not checked in, not seen in pass1, only label field and opcode field. So if there is a label in the label field, label another name is symbol. If there is a symbol in the label field, that is inserted into a table called SymTab. SymTab we have learned, it is a table which contains symbols and their corresponding values. So see, this is the SymTab. See here, sum is a symbol. It is added into SymTab with the corresponding address value in the location order. So sum 00. Next symbol in the label field is first, the label. So first with the corresponding address value it is added. Then again here see there is no label, so nothing to be added. Then next step loop is another label. So with the value 6 it is added into SymTab. So the SymTab is filled during pass 1. It contains the symbols and their corresponding address values which is obtained from the location counter. So each of the symbols is added into the SymTab. And one more thing the pass1 does is it checks the opcode field and just validating the opcodes, which means each opcode it will check. So start is an assembler directory, not an opcode, so it will not check that one. So see here, this is LDX is an opcode. It will check check and validate LDX whether it is there in the op tab. See here, LDX it is there in the op tab. That means it is valid. Then it just validates the opcode. See, suppose for example it has seen an opcode like add m or something, add m, an opcode. Suppose it has while checking in password it has seen add m, then it will check add m, then it is not there. That means it is an invalid opcode, so it has to show the error invalid. So just validating the opcode is also done in pass1. So pass1 we can summarize what all things are happening in pass1. First we should know the assembler should have two passes, pass1 and pass2, because in single step in single pass the assembler cannot convert the source program into machine code. So here input to the pass1 is a source program written in assembly language. Now we are considering the SIC assembly program. SIC also is there. So input is a source program written in assembly language, and also another input is optab. These two are the inputs to the pass1. Then the output is an intermediate file and SymTab. This is the output of pass1, intermediate file and SymTab. And the processes done in pass1 is mainly three things it has to do. First, it has to assign addresses to all the lines in the program. Assign addresses. For that purpose, it uses a variable called location counter. This initialized to the starting address, and for each instruction, 3 is incremented. 3 bytes are incremented, except for reserve word, reserve byte, word, and byte. For reserve word, how many words it has to reserve, that value multiplied by 3. That has to be added to the location counter value. For byte, for word, it can directly add 3. Directly add the operand value. For reserve byte, it can add the value. For byte, it has to find the length of the constant in byte and then add. So that is about the location counter. And next thing is it checks only these two fields in pass1. Assembler checks only these two fields. So first is the label field. When it finds if there is a symbol in the label field, it is added into the SymTab with the corresponding address value, and checks for the opcode. Opcode validation, that is whether the opcode is there in the optab, just validation. So in pass1, after pass1 there is no object code formed. The output of pass1 is the intermediate file, which means the source program with address values assigned, and also SymTab. This is the output of pass1. Now we have understood the working of pass 1. So we can see the algorithm for pass 1. What all steps, how we can write it in a organized way. So this pseudocode we will use here. So begin here represent, it is similar to the brackets used in C language. Begin, read first input line. So first input line we have read from the source program. Then if opcode equal to start, start means the right side, the operand value will be the starting address and it has to be initialized as a location counter value. If this start statement is not there, then we have to initialize the location counter value as 0. While opcode not equal to end, that means till the end of the program, we have to continue the following steps. So first, if this is not a command line, command lines are not processed by assemblers. So we have to check whether it is command line or not. If it is a command line, no need to process it. In compiler also, it will not process the command lines. So if this is not a command line, then we have to check the symbol field, that is a label field. If there is a symbol in the label field, then what we have to do? If there is a symbol in the label field, then what we have to do is we have to enter that symbol or label into the sim tab with the location counter value. So before entering into the sim tab, we can just check whether that symbol is already there in the sim tab. If it is already there, means it's a duplicate entry. So we can show the error, set error flag, duplicate symbol. Otherwise, we can insert label and the location counter, that address value into the sim tab. So that is about checking the label field. Now we have to check the op tab for opcode. If found means the opcode is there in the op tab, then it's a proper instruction. We can add 3 length of the instruction to location counter value. Else if means if it is not a instruction, the opcode will be word, reserve byte or byte. So for each of that we have to add these values to the location counter. If opcode equal to word, then we have to add 3 to the location counter. Word means it's a constant, one word value. So one word means 3 byte. So location counter, every time we have to add the number of bytes. So we have to add 3 here. Then else if opcode equal to reserve word. Reserve word means we have to that many number of words reserving. One word is 3 bytes. So how many values are there multiplied by 3? Add 3 multiplied by operand value to the location counter. Else if opcode equal to reserve byte means directly add that value. Add operand value to location counter. If opcode equal to byte, byte means it's again either a character constant or a hexadecimal constant. So we have to find the length of that constant in bytes, and that length we have to add to the location counter value. So that is this else ifs are closed. Then else, here this else means if opcode is not found, then set error flag. That is, it is not there in the op tab and it is not reserved by reserve word, byte and word, which means it is an invalid opcode. So we have to show that error, set error flag, invalid opcode. Then write line to intermediate file. Then this output, first we have processed one line, that line we can directly write into the intermediate file. Then read the next input line and continue the loop while this opcode, while not end, till end we have to continue this loop. Then write last line to intermediate file, and then you can find out the current location counter value minus starting address will give the length of the program that you can save in pass 1. So this is the algorithm for pass 1. Before coming to the algorithm for pass 2, we can try to understand this example, the same example we have used for pass 1. So after pass 1, the output of pass 1 is given as the input to pass 2. So what is the output of pass 1? Intermediate file, which means the source program with each line addresses assigned. That is the intermediate file. This is one output of pass 1, and another output is the sim tab, that is labels with the corresponding address values. And one more input to pass to is the op tab. So there are three inputs to pass to, which is intermediate file, op tab and sim tab. Then in pass to, the actual conversion is done. That is actual conversion of the instruction to machine code. So here in pass to, again we will see only the opcode field and operand field. Label field is not considered in pass to. Only opcode field and operand field. So in pass to, the actual conversion is done like this. That is, opcode, the corresponding value is written, and then operand, the corresponding value is written. So how we will write these values? So each line, again starting from the beginning, it will check. Then it will only check for the opcode value and the operand value. So opcode LDX, what is the corresponding value of LDX? It is 04. It is obtained from op tab, that is written in the object code 04. And then operand value, it is 0. That corresponding value of the address of the operand will be obtained from the sim tab. 0, the corresponding value is 178B. So after 04, 178B is written. Similarly, next line also, it will see the opcode LDA, which is 00. Then that is written here 00. Then 0, the value 0 will operand value it will get from the sim tab 178B. So that is written here. Similarly, it will write all the object codes. And for reserve word and reserve byte, object code is not there. They are assembler directives, so object code is not there. For byte and word, that constant is written here. That instruction, it's not an instruction, assembler directive. So that constant's value is written as the object code. For example, 0 word 0. It is a constant. Word means it is a constant. The constant value is 0. So that is written as the object code. Constant value is written as the object code. So after writing these object codes, it has to be written in a proper format. Object program format we have already learned. It has header record, text record, and end record. So text record, after this length, one text record is finished, means it has to initialize the another text record. So it will be writing in the proper format. So header record, it will be having the letter H, then program name, starting address, then length of the program. Length of the program means last value of the location counter minus the starting address. That will give the length of the program. So here it is 178B in this address 0 word 0. This instruction will take word. Word means it will take 3 byte. So 178B plus 3, it will be 178E. Last address is 178E. So 178E minus the starting address 000. So that will give the length of the program, which is 178E. That length is written. Then after header record, we have to write the text record. Text record, the fields are starting address, length of the current text record. Current text record means here some gap is there. So till here only we'll write. Then till here the length is 015 minus 00, which is 15. So all these operations, hexadecimal addition, subtraction are done. Then this is the first, every object code after that we have to write. So first object code is 04178B, 04178B, then some partition, then another object, other object code, then we have to write it completely. So one text record is finished means we can write the another text record. So here the size is not finished, but because of this gap, we have to start another text record. Then last end record. End record will be having the starting address. So like this, we will write the complete object code. So this is the output of the assembler. After pass to, we will get the output. The machine code we will get after pass to. So this is the machine code or object code obtained. It has to be just written in a proper format. So from this example, we can summarize pass 2. The input of pass 2 is the output of pass 1. That is the intermediate file, which means the source program with addresses assigned for each line. Then that is the first input. The another input is the sim tab. Sim tab means the labels in the program with the corresponding address values from the location counter. Then another input is the op tab. Op tab means opcodes with corresponding values. Then how the conversion is done is in pass2 only opcode field and operand fields are checked. Opcode corresponding value we will obtain from optab and it is written as the object code, and along with that the operand value is also written, which is obtained from the address of the operand is obtained from SIMTAB. So it will be written together. And this has to be written in a proper format, object program format, which contains header record, text record, and end record. Pass2 algorithm. What all things we have discussed in that example that we have just represent it as an algorithm. So begin, read first input line. So the input is read from intermediate file. So read first input line. If opcode equal to start means we need not write the object code for that opcode. So just write the listing line. Then read next input line. Then we can write the header record, that is the first record in the object program, in the output. Write header record to object program. After that initialize the first text record. Then opcode equal to not equal to end, which means till the end of the program. Again we have to check if this is not a command line. Search optab for opcode. We have to write the opcode value and the operand value as object code. So first search the optab for opcode. Then if found, then we have to check if there is a symbol in operand field. We have to check the operand field and check if there is any label. Search SIMTAB for that operand. So that label should be there in the SIMTAB. If found, then take that address value. Store that symbol value as the address, operand's address. So if it's not there, else store 0 as operand address. If the symbol is not in the SIMTAB, which means we had to, it's an undefined symbol, it's not there in the SIMTAB, so we had to set the error flag. Then end, else store 0 as operand address. If there is no symbol in the label field, then we can put 0 as the operand address. Assemble the object code instruction. Assemble means that opcode value and the operand value together we have to write. If there is no opcode, which means opcode, that instruction opcode is not there. If the opcodes are like byte or word, we have to check whether the opcodes are byte or word. Byte or word means convert that constant to object code. That constant value, byte or word means it will be constants. So that constants hexadecimal representation we have to write as the object code. For reserve word and reserve byte, there is no object code. So that is not given in the algorithm. There is no object code for that one. If object code will not fit into the current text record, then we can initialize the new text record. Then add object code to text record. Write listing line, read next input line, like that the process, the loop continues. After finishing, write last text record to object program, write end record to object program, write last listing line. So this is the end of the pass2. Thank you.